People believed giant sea serpents were nothing but legends, until researchers found a real skull matching the same shape described in ancient texts, and this wasn't a normal animal, it was massive. Today, I'll reveal real discoveries, photos, and modern sightings that link famous mythical creatures to something that might have truly existed. So watch carefully, because some legends were never just stories. Number 7. Unicorn. The earliest evidence of something like a unicorn doesn't come from Europe. It appears on ancient seals made thousands of years ago in the Indus Valley, found across Pakistan and India. Those seals show a creature standing sideways with one long horn on its head. Therefore, many historians think people back then saw a real animal and later turned it into a legend. Most people assume unicorns came from fantasy, but something close to them actually existed. About 40,000 years ago, during a freezing stage of the Ice Age, a massive single-horned animal roamed the plains. Scientists call it a lasmatherium, but many nicknamed it the Siberian unicorn. It looked like a rhino, but it stood taller and weighed far more. We think rhinos and horses are unrelated, but horses are actually their closest relatives. Therefore, the idea of a horse-like unicorn makes surprising sense. Its horn was enormous, nearly the size of a full-grown person. Because of that, researchers believe it was the largest horn carried by any land animal. Some say the horn helped males fight, others think it helped dig through snow to find plants. Eventually, the climate changed, food grew scarce, and early humans hunted more aggressively. Therefore, this giant disappeared from the earth. That is why many scientists think a lasmatherium might be the real creature behind the first unicorn stories. Number 6. Thunderbird. Native tribes across North America told stories of enormous flying creatures called thunderbirds. People described them as powerful birds with wings so wide that a single flap could sound like thunder. According to old stories and carvings, these birds were strong enough to carry away large animals, which is why tribes believed they ruled the skies. Scientists suggest these legends might not be pure fantasy. They point to a real prehistoric giant bird named Argentavis, which lived around 6 million years ago. Fossils show its wings stretched almost 7 meters, nearly as wide as a small airplane. A bird that size could easily overpower smaller animals, therefore many researchers believe it was one of the top predators of its time. The idea of a massive bird soaring overhead fits almost perfectly with the ancient descriptions of thunderbirds. The wingspan, strength, and hunting behavior all match what tribal stories passed down for generations. What makes it even more interesting is that sightings of unusually large birds have still been reported in recent times. No one has confirmed them, but people continue claiming to see huge shadows gliding above forests and deserts, leaving us wondering if the legend of the Thunderbird came from something real that once filled the sky. Number 5. Mokele-mbembe. Deep inside the Congo rainforest, tribes have told stories for generations about a huge creature called mokele-mbembe. They say its body looks long and heavy like a sauropod dinosaur, and some hunters claim they've seen it moving near rivers or hiding among tall trees. Many villagers even report hearing loud splashes at night, therefore they believe something large still lives there. When scientists looked into these claims, they suggested the legend might connect to a real prehistoric animal. Some point to Arsinoitherium, an ancient rhino-like mammal that once lived about 37 million years ago. Fossils show it was massive, with thick legs and a strong body built for pushing through swampy land. Number 4. Giant sea serpents. Giant serpents appear in legends from almost every ancient civilization. In Roman stories, people spoke about huge snakes guarding sacred places. Egyptian texts mention Apophis, a giant serpent that tried to swallow the sun. In ancient Indian beliefs, there's Vasuki, the great serpent wrapped around creation itself. For a long time, people thought these were just myths, but scientists later discovered something surprising. Giant snakes actually existed in the real world. Fossils show that Titanoboa once lived in South America, and this snake could reach 42 feet long, almost the same length as a city bus. But that's not even the biggest one. Another species named Vasuki indicus reached up to 50 feet, which is long enough to match 3 limousines placed end to end. Both snakes were apex predators. Imagine something so large and strong that it could crush an animal with one squeeze, therefore swallowing it whole afterward. No animal near them was safe. Titanoboa fossils were found deep inside ancient jungles in Colombia, but the fossils Fossils of Vasuki indicus were discovered in modern-day Gujarat, India. That discovery shocked researchers because it meant giant serpents once ruled the prehistoric Indian subcontinent. Therefore, scientists named it Vasuki after the same legendary serpent mentioned in Hindu writings. So, were those ancient stories just fantasy, or were people remembering something that once walked or slithered across the earth? We still don't know. Even today, some fishermen in South America claim they've seen massive dark bodies moving under muddy river water, too long to be any normal snake. Some believe the legends survived because people were describing creatures that actually existed, giants that disappeared, yet left behind fossils, stories, and mystery. Number 3. Ningen. A few years ago, strange reports started coming out of Antarctica. Fishermen and researchers claimed they saw something massive rising from the freezing water. A pale, humanoid figure. Long arms, no face. They called it the ningen. Sightings describe a creature shaped like a mermaid, but wrong somehow. White skin, limbs that stretch too far. Some say it watches ships before sinking back into the dark. No clear photo exists, but the stories keep coming. So where did this myth begin? Some believe ancient sea creatures planted the seed. The lasomedon was a marine reptile with a long neck and huge flippers. It looked almost alien. Scientists know it swam these same waters millions of years ago. Therefore, some wonder if old bones or deep-sea glimpses inspired the legend. But here's what no one can explain. Modern witnesses aren't describing fossils. They're describing something alive, moving, watching. The ocean around Antarctica remains one of the least explored places on Earth. We know more about the moon's surface than what lurks beneath that ice. Could something still be down there? Nobody knows for sure. Number 2. Dragons. You've seen them in movies, in TV shows, in video games. Eastern cultures paint them without wings, slithering through clouds. Western cultures give them massive wings and fire breath. But where did this idea come from? Many historians believe ancient people found dinosaur fossils buried in the ground. They saw giant bones, massive skulls, teeth like daggers. Therefore, they imagined terrifying creatures that once ruled the skies. Dragons were born from those bones. But here's what most people don't realize. 66 million years ago, there was no need to imagine dragons, because something just as terrifying actually existed. Quetzalcoatlus, a flying reptile with a wingspan wider than a small airplane. Its beak alone stretched longer than 2 humans standing together. This creature soared over dinosaurs, feeding on their carcasses, maybe even snatching their babies. It wasn't a bird, it wasn't a dinosaur, it was something else entirely, a pterosaur, the largest flying animal to ever live on this planet. So when ancient people dug up bones of creatures like this, what else would they think? They weren't making up stories. They were trying to explain something real, something massive, something that once darkened the skies. Maybe dragons aren't pure fantasy after all. Number 1. Leviathan. The name alone sounds like a warning. Ancient texts describe it as a massive sea serpent, a monster so terrifying that sailors feared even speaking its name. The Hebrew Bible mentions it, so do Mesopotamian legends. Cultures across the world told stories of something enormous lurking beneath the waves. But why did so many different civilizations believe in the same creature? Here's where it gets interesting. Around 50 million years ago, a giant sea snake called Paleophis coloceus swam through ancient oceans. This thing was massive, longer than 4 cars lined up. It could crush any predator in its path. Scientists have found its fossils scattered across multiple continents. Therefore, some researchers believe ancient people discovered remains of creatures like this. Giant bones washing up on shores, skulls with rows of sharp teeth. They didn't have science to explain it, so they created legends instead. But the mystery doesn't end there. Even today, sailors report seeing enormous serpent-like shapes moving through deep waters. Most experts dismiss these sightings, but the ocean remains 80% unexplored. We know more about the moon than what lives in our own seas. Could something ancient still be down there? Science says no, but the stories keep coming. What do you think? Let me know in the comments.